recent episode of the Full Send podcast, Dana White expressed how he feels America is soft. Dana said, if we go to war right now, are you confident in this generation that we have right now? That these guys are going to go out and storm some f***ing beach somewhere? There's a small handful of people, most of them probably down the Bible Belt and down south, that will actually f***ing stand up and fight for this f***ing country right now. It's scary. Habib's crew in Dagestan could probably come over here and take over this f***ing country right now because this generation is such a bunch of f***ing pussies. We're getting soft. We're getting weak. Every 10 years we get softer and weaker. To be fair, I think every generation thinks the next generation is soft. If you look at all the that's going on in the world right now, there's no respect for the police anymore. There's no respect for the military. There's no respect for our country, our freedom, our way of life that we have here. You can sit around and nitpick and talk about things that are wrong with the United States. Let me tell you something. Your generation, my generation, everybody's generation, this is it. If this falls, there's no other f***ing place to go. Nate Diaz responded to Dana on an Instagram post. Nate wrote, agreed, but Kebab and his friends ain't gonna do shit. Tom Aspinall shows off his power on the punching machine. Beneil Darius claims that Dustin Poirier declined to fight him twice. Beneil believes that Dustin may be wanting to pick his fights at this point in his career.
What happened with Dustin? I saw recently in an interview you said you've been offered that fight twice. Why has that fight not come together?
Well, I believe, I've seen interviews with Dustin. He's not really interested in fighting me. I don't get him excited, I guess, the way he puts it. But from my understanding is when John Jones got hurt, they were hoping to boost that card up with Dustin Poirier and myself. And they called him, and he wasn't interested. And I believe they even tried for this date. This is what I was told. I'm not sure what he was told on his side, but they were also given the option of fighting this date with me, and he turned down both of them. So that's what I've been told. This is why I like to hear the other side as well, so I can know what actually happened. So, but that's all I got.
Do you kind of then think, well, if he has turned it down twice, I may as well just forget that fight because clearly he's got no interest in it, and you have to look at other names?
Yeah, I mean, I don't talk about Dustin Poirier like I want to fight him. I just mentioned him when they asked me to fight him. Like I moved on. You know what I mean? When they before Charles, he was an option. I said yes. So that's why we talked about him. Now I mentioned him because I thought there was a possibility. That's it. I can't force a man to fight me, right? I'm just the opportunity to fight a guy like Dustin Poirier would be amazing because of his skills and what he's done in this sport. But I understand his legacy, and he wants certain types of fights, and he's done what he's done in this sport. If he wants to pick his fights at this point, all the best.
Henry Cejudo gives some advice to Ian Garry following the drama with his wife. Henry says that Ian's wife's book, How to Be a Wag, may become a bestseller because it actually worked.
This sounds terrible. Ian Garry, Machado, I'm sorry I have to do this to you, man, but what the is going on, dude? Where is it that his mind is really at with this whole thing, with obviously his wife being an author of a book called WAG, which is the acronyms for wife and girlfriend? How is it that you pick up a guy who is young and successful, and how is it that you can pretty much, make him yours? Is this something that Ian Garry and his wife are actually plotting? Because if it is, you know what? That WAG is getting a lot of attention. That book could become a bestseller because she was able to get a younger, up-and-coming, undefeated Irishman, and she was able to make him a Machado. She was able to give her Portuguese last name, her Brazilian last name, Machado. The problem is with a guy like Ian Garry is you're in the fight game, man. You're literally in the fight game, Ian. And if you're not careful, if you're not thick skin, if you're not titanium, you're gonna eventually, your career could go down because psychologically your mind's not there. There goes that 26-year-old kid who had those lofty dreams of becoming the reincarnation of Conor McGregor. And now all that, because of love, goes down the drain.
Sean Brady is interested in fighting Ian Garry if Ian defeats Vicente Luque at UFC 296.
Man, he's he's very talented, but like for me, like I've been with the same group of guys since I started fighting, you know, so it rubbed me the wrong way when he called out, excuse me, when he did that whole thing with Luke and recording the phone, like the way he just did that, like he called him, he had cameras on him, like recording him and Luke having a conversation, like it's whack to me. Like these guys, like my teammates are like my brothers, you know, so for me, if you're at a gym, like that's your family, for you to kind of do the that he's been doing, and then talking about like training and how like the guys know how good he is and he's beating everybody up in the gym. And now I see like Brendan Allen was kind of calling him out on it. He's starting to get some backlash, and yeah, I just think that's whack.
How would you handle that if somebody was in your gym constantly filming, like with a camera?
Well, he wouldn't be, because like we're not a super gym, we're not this big gym, we're a small gym in Philly. We got good guys out, like we got a lot of good guys, but we're a family, you know. You come in, you start pulling out your phone, like let alone an actual like cameras like getting shut down. Like we're not like that, you know. We're not going to film everything, so God forbid you leave our team and say you did do something to one of our guys. You're out there posting, and training's training, you know. So you can do whatever you want in training, but you get out there and fight the guy, it's going to be a completely different story.
Jamahal Hill has been arrested after an alleged altercation with his brother. According to TMZ, Jamahal was booked at a Kent County jail on Monday around 1 a.m. and released later around 7:35 p.m. The same day, Jamahal was formally charged with 1 count of misdemeanor aggravated domestic violence. In court documents obtained by TMZ, officials allege Hill assaulted James Anthony Hill Jr., inflicting quote-unquote serious or aggravated injury upon him. TMZ later confirmed that it was Jamal's brother. As of right now, those are the only details on this situation. Jamahal has yet to release a statement on the matter. When we get more information, we will be sure to update you guys. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Doom Studios. It says, if Colby brings Ian Garry's wife's book to the press conference and reads it to the crowd, and the presser on how to be a wag would be absolutely golden. The second one's from Rusty Shackle 49000. It says, Ian says the more people talk, the more people I have to prove wrong. Bruh, no one said you can't fight. We said you're being preyed on by a cougar wag who is toxic. Winning all the fights in the world won't change that. And the final one's from Gate00. It says, now that Ian admitted on camera that all this trolling is pissing him off, it's never gonna stop. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.